Guy,
Hi, I'm Troy.
Hi, I'm Alex.
and this is Geek Tank.
There's some heavy stuff going on, sized podcast, but we'll try not to bring you down too much.
And we were just
But
talking about that in the green room before starting here.
yeah, well, I feel like it's at least worth acknowledging since it does affect a lot of geeks. I don't think I know anyone who does not at least have decent feelings towards Princess Bride.
Yeah,
And I'm sure there's someone I must know someone who probably is like, I saw it once and it was okay, but I don't want to watch it again. But
right.
they've never said that to me. Whereas I do know,
Them's fighting words.
well, for some of the super fans who I know, that might be fighting words. Um, but yes, if you haven't heard, Rob Reiner and his wife, who's was it Michelle? I can't remember. I'm sorry, her name's escaping me. Um, tragically have been murdered by his son, is supposedly suspected. That it's not 100%, but so far all the evidence is really looking like that. So it's a horrible, tragic situation all around for everyone involved, and a lot of people are hurt by this and grieving and mourning.
Yeah, we've got a lot of unpleasant stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had no idea he directed 30 movies.
Yeah, I mean, because we know him
Or like
from
30
like
things.
this is Spinal Tap and when Harry
Final
Met
Tap,
Sally.
Stand By Me,
Stand
Princess
by
Bride,
Me.
Harry Met
I
Sally.
mean, I'm surprised I have not heard from Will Wheaton yet. Speaking of,
Oh, wow. Misery, Few Good Men.
Misery, A Few Good Men. I saw Kevin Bacon had made a comment about A Few Good Men.
Was his role on Archie Bunker his first thing he did as an actor?
Yeah, it wasn't his first thing, but it was his first big thing.
That's the first thing I remember him from as a teenager.
Yeah, from being Meathead. What's so funny is that's one of those things where I knew it, but then didn't know it. Like, as in,
like knowing Opie's actually Ron Howard,
right? Like somewhere, I'm sure Mom made some comment. Yep, somewhere, but because that was one of the things she would have known and talked about.
Oops.
And I don't know what you're doing.
I broke things. How do I fix the things I broke?
I don't know.
I was trying to read the stuff and it went away. There it is. Oh, okay. I thought somebody said something, but I don't see anything.
I can't see the audience comments at all on my screen anymore.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
You need to hit this one. There we go.
Nobody said anything.
Pilot to co-pilot. Pilot to co-pilot.
I'm imagining stuff.
Letting Troy push buttons again. Things go bad.
Should not do that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Things go really bad when Troy starts pushing buttons. But yeah, I mean, it's a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rough one, definitely.
Yeah.
But we'll see as things develop with that. So I finished the Welcome to Derry miniseries based off of or inspired by the It series, Stephen King's It. I haven't read the book, so I know some of the stuff they came up with is original and not written by King. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I was curious with some of the stuff they revealed.
He died. Oh wait,
there's a lot of death, but
I mean, we are kind of basing it off of it.
Yeah, they revealed some powers that did not exist in the movies and made me wonder if they existed in the books. But I don't want to say what they are because I feel like I might spoil stuff. So now I've got to do a little research and see. But if you liked the movie, part 1 and 2 of the remake of It, Welcome to Derry, I thought really followed the flavor of that nicely.
Cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing our holiday. One of our holiday traditions is to rewatch Firefly.
Oh.
And so we're rewatching Firefly right now. We have the discs and just throwing them on in and playing. Good stuff.
Is there a connection to Christmas with that? As to why?
Oh, yeah. We got into it because we were visiting a friend. They were having a big party So lots of people, and like, people in the kitchen and people in the dining room, people in the living room, people, and it was a holiday party.
Mhm.
And in the living room, they were showing Firefly. And so we watched a few bits and pieces of a few different episodes. We're like, this show actually looks really cool, huh?
Yeah.
So we decided to like rent it from the video store,
Mhm.
down the street.
because it's those days.
Yeah, and we liked it so much that I picked up a physical copy long time ago, and it's one of our. This is like
Nice.
our Advent-tide tradition. Is one of them is to watch Firefly.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't necessarily watch Serenity,
Mhm.
but the original series we do enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a good one. I have one of the mini board games, Firefly, that's cooperative, and you play one of the crew members, and you're on a mission. And I played it once with Bakudan and Brian, and it has a really interesting game mechanic of you decide who's going to do what on whose turn. But when you do it, it uses up your action points, and then whoever is next highest on the initiative order with action points gets to go. And if there's ever a tie, you then decide between crew members who's going to take that first action.
Hmm.
And the game we were in, it actually came down to that choice made the difference of us winning or losing. So
Cool.
it really created a nice suspense moment of, are we going to make it out of the town before the bad guys get us or not?
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Cool.
But yeah, Firefly is way up there in my top 10 on stuff I think is really an awesome series.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, check out, I think you have to find it online through nefarious means, possibly. Con Men. I think it's Con Men.
Oh,
Con
yeah, I've
Man.
heard of it.
Man.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
not
only
nefarious.
it's only, in
He-
my opinion, it's only good if you have seen Firefly, because it's making fun of Firefly, because they're playing sorry, Nathan Fillion and Alan
Alan
Tudyk
Tudyk.
are playing parodies of themselves.
Yeah. Actually, I've heard mixed things about it. Like some people I know have seen this, recommend this movie, were kind of like, eh. So I haven't bothered to try to seek it out.
It's easily one of those that you'll know if you want to watch them after the first episode. You won't waste, like, it's not watch 5 episodes and you'll like it on the 6th one. It's like you'll either like it or you won't right away.
Okay.
And you'll know.
Cool. Yeah. And then the kiddo wasn't really into watching it.
Oh.
And they often like things that like have like good foreshadowing and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, not for you this time, no problem. Maybe next year. And yeah.
Oh, one more thing about Firefly, because this is triggered because a guy and I think we talked about this a long time ago, and I think we both agreed. Out of Gas is the episode that we like to show people who have never seen it.
Yeah.
Because it's a better starting episode than the starting episode in the series, because it gives you a much better feel of what the show's like.
Yeah. We that's actually the one that we're on right now.
Nice.
It's one of my favorites, but I love Out of Gas for just the way that it was written, so that it pretty much announced every character. You all get like every character in that first scene, so you know where everybody is, and I love that. It was such a phenomenally well done.
Yeah, it's a good show, and there's I was actually talking about this with somebody. They were like, oh, it was like, #1 series that shouldn't have been canceled. I'm like, I don't know about that, because I mean, I don't like anything else that Whedon's ever been at the helm at, and
right, we've had this discussion.
And so I'm like,
about how you have magically not watched all the really crappy episodes.
Yeah,
of
I've only
Buffy.
watched bad episodes of Buffy, or an episode here and there of Angel, or a couple of Dollhouse, and Avengers, the Avengers movie, which I thought was all right. And when the first movie were like, "This is so great!" Like walking to the theater, I'm like, "Yeah, the 20-minute let's repair the helicarrier scene was really cool," and didn't bog down the film at all.
Really into the helicarrier,
But no, it's like, to me, it's sort of like, this is lightning in a bottle, and that's the best thing I've ever seen of his. And shucks, it got canceled before it started to be shitty.
Yeah, there's a.
That's what I think a lot of people have felt.
There's a few.
Was that it was actually kind of beneficial.
It continued in comic book form, but I haven't read them. But I've heard they're decent. So.
Yeah, Yeah, my spouse has read I think all of them, and
Oh,
working at a library and all. Easy to get their hands on
they
them.
must at least be good enough to read the next one if
At least
all of them have been read.
enough of a enough intrigue,
Yeah,
what's going on, yada yada. So yeah,
cool.
so that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing my tradition is each year is to do Pie Hard,
Hmm.
where we have a variety of savory and sweet pies and watch Die Hard. And
Hmm.
I feel like this is the fourth year because we watched part one twice and part two one or twice as well. And it was and when we originally started, Mariah had never seen Die Hard,
Oh
and
my,
that's kind of what inspired. I'm like, no, you have to see this. So
it's a good movie.
yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how the other parts have to tie in with the holidays, but
Well, two, it's snowing and it's filmed here in Colorado.
really,
It
no
wa- it
way.
doesn't take
Yep.
place in Colorado necessarily. I don't remember where. I think it's still supposed to be in New York.
Wasn't the
But
second one in an airport?
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead, guy.
Yeah.
so it's
Filmed at
Stapleton. No, I didn't know that. I watched it when it came out, which is before I moved here. I'm pretty sure. So crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look it up. When did Die Hard 2 come out?
yeah. But I am gonna watch the Blackadder Christmas special because I do really
Yeah,
enjoy
it's a good
that.
one.
So
1990s before I moved here. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Blackadder. I tried to show Blackadder to the kiddo.
Yeah, the reason they chose Stapleton was because they just opened up DIA. And so since they just opened up DIA, Stapleton was still an airport, but wasn't
Yep.
used anymore. Everything was closed. So they could pretty much crash anything they wanted or blow up anything they wanted. And so
Cool.
yeah, I remember that's another one. It's interesting when we start dealing with movies that when my mom was still in
Yeah.
the industry,
Was your mom?
because we start dealing with stuff where I know the background and behind the scenes stuff because she was involved in all
Was she
of that,
involved
you
in
know?
any of
And,
the things to do in Denver when you're dead? Or was she out of the business by then?
she was out of the business, but there are a couple of her talent that I recall were in it.
Cool.
So it's not like she wasn't in it or anything, but yeah, that's one that I just remember things happening in that one. Just interesting. Always interesting.
The play I'm in, Jacob Molly's Christmas special. Thank you, Guy, for coming to see it.
I was gonna say it sucked.
Sucked
so
I
bad.
click exit and just leave.
Right.
We still have 3 more shows. One show Thursday night, one show Friday night, and a matinee on Saturday. So
it really was good. I mean, jokes
Cool.
aside,
What time's
I really enjoyed it.
2:30, I believe.
Can probably make that.
Right about the time when your tooth hurts.
And they offer discounts for like students and that kind of stuff. And they're very strict about each performer only getting 2 free passes for the entire run, which seems really limited. But I guess from what the other actors in it have said is that's standard. There is one theater group that does like a running free pass for performer's partner. But other than that, but yeah, that's one of those things. If you can make it, it'd be cool. It's definitely an interesting take on it.
Yeah.
And it's
Cool.
very minimal plots. I don't know what else would you. I don't know. What was your favorite thing about the show, Guy? Besides me,
I was gonna say the screaming.
it's one of those things too. There is what I would consider a jump scare, but I'm like,
there's all kinds of jump scares. You were good at jump scaring.
But because they're in real life, I didn't think they were going to have the same effect, so it didn't occur to me that it's okay.
It didn't bother me. Mostly because oddly, I could tell that you were going to do it. Like the first one was a little jumpy, but then after that, I was like, well, I know what he's after. I know what he's doing now. So I was just reading your body language, and I was like, yep. Which is fine.
How long is the performance?
About an hour and a half, slightly more, because it's act 1 and act 2 are roughly 45 minutes, and there's about an intermission, potty break.
Cool. Right. Sweet.
Potty
break.
break.
I think might be able to make that.
Cool. And it is at the Mizell Arts Center. Apparently, there's multiple Christmas Christmas Carol plays happening,
Mhm.
and so don't go to the wrong one.
Right?
Because
Where's Troy at? God damn it! But cool.
we've
Yeah,
had
we
people show up at ours, and they weren't looking for ours; they were looking for others.
right.
Was that what happened to the other
It
family? You
might
think?
be. I don't know. I mean, well, they wouldn't have gotten in if they didn't buy tickets. So
That's
I don't
true.
know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool. Speaking of intermissions,
yes.
my spouse and I, we watched Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair.
I was
And
just starting the honest trailers on that when a guy jumped in and I stopped.
Yep.
So and we were like 5 hours, five
my
hours
fault.
in a theater.
It's like 4.5.
Oh, okay.
But
So
yeah, there's an intermission between where the two movies are, and it cuts the connective tissue out between the two movies, like the scene where the bride is writing her death list on the plane at the end, and then the does she know her daughter's alive is cut from the first end of the first movie, and the look dead, didn't I? Well, in a roaring rampage of revenge is cut off from the front of the second one. And
Okay.
and they also added, like, it's NC-17, so the fight scene is in full color.
Oh.
They even add a few little things to it. There's lots of scenes with just a
Nice.
little bit extra here and there. Probably the most noticeable, longest thing that's added is an additional animated O-Ren backstory,
Oh.
which honestly I could have done without.
Oh.
I think that it went a little long. And two, it puts to bed the theory that the guy who actually killed her father with the sword is Bill.
Oh.
It's somebody else.
Oh.
And I kind of liked it, thinking that maybe it was Bill.
Mm-hmm. Is it added to the already existing one, or does it happen somewhere else?
It's added to the already existing one, which is kind of why it feels a little bit too long to me.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, like, yes, it's Kill Bill, yes, it's unrealistic, but there's some stuff that happens, and it's like they're totally dead.
Did they have the fight
they're
scene?
not.
Did they have the fight scene back in between Carradine and Cream Abdul-Jabbar? Oh,
Nope.
That should have been put back. That should have been put back in.
I think that should have been probably put in. It was probably a little bit difficult to find a place to put it, or maybe connective tissue to add it to the rest of the movie. Is my thought. But no, it's yeah, we haven't watched Kill Bill since probably before our child was born. So, like, all the kids stuff hits different. For me, especially, it was at the, I know, spoiler alert, at the end where she gets to Bill and BB's there and they do their fake gun thing, and then, like, BB gives her a hug and everything. I just thought that's the first time she's smelling her child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
yep, that's a thing. That's a thing nobody gets unless you're a parent.
Yep. So yeah, but no, enjoyable. We saw it at the Alamo, and then we had some, some food, drinks. So yeah, and now it's playing. It's a little bit wider release now. Now it's playing at the Harkins in Old Town Arvada. So
I feel like the Alamo would be the place to see it because the 30-minute pre-show probably was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. We didn't get to see the whole thing, but what we did see, it was trailers from movies that are referenced in Kill Bill. Like, there's a trailer,
Lady Snowblood.
Like Lady Snowblood was one of them. Shogun Assassin was one of them.
Nice.
Another trailer was
oh man, Lady Snowblood's so good.
It was a trailer where I forget the name of the spaghetti western, but in the trailer it's like they made one mistake, they should have killed 6. So that line from Kill Bill. So yeah, no, it was cool. It's cool. And hey,
the question is, did they put Star Trek 2 in there?
I didn't see the whole thing, so I don't know.
Just because they used the line in the very beginning and the thing that's
Yeah, that's still one of I was so excited to see that. Like I was like I was geeking out about that
And they
one
might have
part.
actually cut that
It's like
from
the
the film.
best.
I don't quite remember that.
ha ha
Oh,
ha.
one of my
They
favorite
did change the opening
films.
credits slightly because it's opening credits for the whole bloody affair, not just the one movie.
Mhm.
Um, they make a little joke of starring Gordon Liu, no relation to, of course, Lucy Liu.
Fair.
Yes.
Right.
I had forgotten that Gordon Liu was also the head of the Crazy 88.
Yeah.
Like I remembered that he was Pai Mei, but I forgot he was the head of Crazy 88. I'm like, I'm all trim again, and I'm shaving my head again. I should get that mask and be,
Yeah.
whatever his character's name is as
And
the head of
revive
the Crazy 88.
Orishio Rin if that outfit's still around.
Oh no, but it's easy enough to put together.
Yeah. I no longer will fit
Johnny
in what I.
Mo. That's the character. Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I will no longer fit into whatever Crazy 88 outfit I wore back when your wife did Oren and Tara and I did Crazy 88.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys were cool. I got pictures.
Nice. You should post them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, well, we're 2 minutes ahead of time, but I say you should go to our intermission.
Yes. And just say, for the record, the Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, The Massage Wizard, and
Dun dun dun.
Your Mom.
Your mom.
Bow, 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 ba, ba, da, ba, da, ba.
You and I have unfinished business. So with that out of the way, we could talk about the thing that Alex was going to talk about before the illness attacked
Before I
you.
got sick, yes.
Yes.
I've been out sick. Yeah, I was why I left Mile High Con.
Part 1.
Right. 2. Sorry. Excuse me, still got some congestion going. Yeah, no, so there's a few reasons why I left Mile High Con. It's just one of them is that it's since Cass passed away, 7-8 years ago. She passed away unexpectedly, right? Like about a month or so before
For the
con.
Yeah.
And so I was security lieutenant, and my head of security at Mile High Con is second in command of operations. So when she passed, head of security slotted into operations head, and I slotted into head of security. And ever since then, I mean, it's already autumn. It's already kind of a melancholy season for me, and it just became a kind of a melancholy convention. Not that it's a bad thing. I mean, I'm in the goth scene. I'm in the goth scene not because I want to be, but because I'm always sad. And so there's that, and then the Linda, the head of the convention, she was the con chair for literally decades. And
Yeah.
she'd gotten to the point where she's like, you know what, I want to pass the torch.
She wanted
And
to write,
so she did.
and she did a good job. Of
Yeah,
it.
she's been writing. She's
been writing
got
forever.
several published novels. And so she's been writing, and she just wanted to concentrate on that, come to the con as just an attendee. And so she did it, she did it very gracefully. And she, somebody else who'd been in the con for a while, she took them on as co-chair. And over the course of, I want to say, like 3 years or so, gave them more and more responsibility. And now they are still co-chair, but now they're kind of the senior co-chair. There's someone else who's kind of the junior co-chair now. And so this person, she wound up, I don't think she took me very seriously in my role. And so there was a couple times where there was at least one instance where we were still coming out of COVID. There was a mask mandate for everyone at the convention. And so there was somebody who, it was Sunday afternoon. Yes, it's kind of the doldrums of the convention, but still, here we are, convention space. One of my people went in to talk to him because he was having a conversation with somebody. He was a vendor, and I saw that he, from a distance, that it was not a great interaction. So I, connected with her. I'm like, hey, what happened here? She's like, oh, well, well, let me go talk to him. Like, hey, hey, I'm Alex. I'm head of security, and and he's like, it's a private conversation. I'm like, yes, you can have a private conversation without a mask in the bar, in the hotel room, outside, at a restaurant. But you agreed as part of buying a ticket for the show and vending here that you would wear a mask. And he said, well, go get Christine, which is the name of the chair that was being pulled on at that point in time. And I said, okay, well, you told me what I needed to resolve this, so I'm going to go talk to her. So I did. And she went and talked to him, and she goes, oh, well, it's okay. She comes back to me and tells me this. Oh, okay, cool. It's your decision. Your con chair, not mine. But then, which, it's not great. It's not a great feeling when, you have two people who tell them, like, this is what you agreed to, buddy. And they're waiving that. It's not a great feeling to begin with. And then she goes, yeah, I told them that, you're kind of like a young officer and you're kind of like puffed up on your authority and da 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 da. And I was like, we don't have that relationship. And I get that he's ex-military and you're ex-military. I'm military brat. I've seen people just like you two, literally in your underwear, too much, too often, to have automatic respect. So, okay. And then, so those are things that I could still work with. The thing I could not work with, and once again, this kind of leads into not taking us seriously, is that there is a individual at the convention named Darian, a young man, probably in his mid-20s by now. And he's been coming to the show and working for the show since he was a teenager. And he's always been kind of a problem. One of the early negative interactions I had with him was that the con suite is not on the same floor as a regular convention floor. It's up in one of the hotel rooms, like a suite. And so he and one of his brothers exited the con suite and were having a fist fight on the hotel floor. One of my people, one of our people, operations staff, happened to be going up there to grab some sodas or something. And he's like, come with me. Drags him down to me. Melinda, operations head, was asleep. So it's my show. And I'm talking to them, blah, 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 blah. And I come to the conclusion, I'm like, well, they're like I said, teenagers. I'm like, hey, be aware, and going by the cast thing that, our rules can be draconian, so we may be merciful. And I'm also not throwing anybody under the bus on this, but I was like, hey, guys, having a fist fight in the hotel on the hallway of the hotel, not great. I'm glad it's one of my people that saw you. If it was a hotel staffer or a guest, you could have gotten the show in real trouble, especially since at least one of you was like wearing like I'm a volunteer at this convention t-shirt. I was like, you know what? Punch in your badges. That's your one of two strikes. Keep it under wraps. And they did.
Which makes sense.
But there's also some other stuff going on over the years. And so what happened at one point in time, a couple years ago, when Linda was still chair, because this is the first year she has not been convention chair. So Darian was getting stalkery with another staffer, and wasn't taking no for an answer, and kept on showing up to places where he was explicitly told not to go, obviously in proximity of this person. And also like Melinda had actually sat him down and read the sexual harassment policy out of the program book. Like, you know, you abide by this. You know, all staff, all attendees, all vendors. It's one of the rules that we all abide by. You understand? Yes, I understand. Good. You say you understand that you can't be in these spaces. If you need to coordinate or bring somebody, you know, if you need to get something from here, you send someone. You send a friend. You send another staffer, something of that nature. But he kept on showing up and stuff. So it's Sunday evening. Melinda is left with her kids to go, you know, go home because they got to go to school in the morning. She has to go to work. And I get a text basically saying, he's doing it again. Da, 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 da. I'm like, okay, I'm on it. So I grabbed one of my people. In fact, the same person who saw him fist fighting a few years before. And I'm like, so we go. I'm like, like I say my first words, you know, we're here to just take statements, yada yada. My man, keep them chilled out. Well, I, you know, one at a time interviews. Do the thing, confer with Melinda, and we're like, okay, well, what we're thinking is like, you know, he needs to be ejected. He not welcome back.
Right.
And so we take it to Linda and Christine, and they don't poo-poo it, but they come up with a different kind of solutions. Like, you know what, he's still pretty young, but this is inexcusable. And Christine's like, you know, I know the family, they're kind of feral kids. And Linda's like, yeah, if we check him hard enough, maybe we can make salvages, make him a better person, make him be a better asset for the convention. And Christine's like, okay, let's have it that he needs to take sexual harassment training. If he doesn't take the training, he's out. If he fails the training, he's out. And then we, of course, you know, keep a really close eye on him for the next couple years. And Melinda and I go, you know what? Sure. You know, we're not super assholes, and you know what they say makes some sense. And if he if there's a lot of basically these are your next steps this is your last chance. These are the steps you need to take.
Right. Which failure
to comply means you're out.
Right.
And so, like, okay, cool. And so operations traditionally from CAS didn't go to a lot of meetings. A lot of convention committee meetings. There's one every month. And she didn't really go to very many of them. And so Melinda and I kind of kept on doing the same thing. So we go there at the final meeting before the convention, you know, a few weeks before, as is our want. You know, we usually do that. You know, like, is there anything that we actually need to know now that guests are finalized? This is that. Da, da, da.
Right.
And sometimes we do need to have that information. And so we go there and we get that information. We're like, okay, let's go ask Christine what's going on with Darian. And we ask her what's going on. And you can tell she has done fucking nothing. Nothing. And this was last year. And so that year, Darian was always like, whenever he was like around, like in public spaces, he was either attached to Christine or her husband. And, but he would still oftentimes, you know, still be kind of pushing that boundary a little bit, you know. And so then this last summer, Melinda was like, you know what, I'm out. I got 3 teenagers. I'm working full time.
Right.
I never really wanted this particular job, being head of operations, and so she announced on our group Facebook that she was leaving. Once I got word of that, I said, hey, I texted her, hey, can we talk soon? Called her up. What's the rest of the reason? She tells me it's because of the Darian situation, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, cool. Well, I get it. I'm out too. We named our successors. She chose Adam as her successor, who was also he and Cass actually came up together in the kind of the Midwestern convention scene, and he knows the stuff.
Yeah,
and in fact, cool. And because of like he's like, yes, Cass didn't go to those meetings, I'm going to those meetings. and changing things up, not for the sake of change, that's for the sake, here's the new boss and I'm changing stuff. It's like he sees a need, which is fair.
Mhm.
And then I chose my successor being Chris, the guy who was, I kind of like used as my right hand man on those incidences. And I came to, what's really funny is that, to me, is that Christine had a little sit down talk with Adam. Adam tells me at the con, and because Melinda quit in the summer, she got married Halloween, and then showed up at the convention just for a few hours with family just to celebrate a little bit. I worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Saturday, Sunday, and not Monday, no. But Christine sits him down. Is like, I hope now that Melinda's gone and Alex on his way out, that we can really put this Darian thing to bed. And Adam goes, you can put it to bed right now. You can ban him from the convention.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's right. We got tired of not being taken seriously and fighting you on this bullshit, but we install people who will keep up the fight. Fuck you.
Yep.
And then Chris, actually, like I realize, and I probably should have realized this earlier because Melinda is very much an introvert. She and I did not do a great job of telling all the reasons why we were leaving. So I spoke for my own reasons and what she had told me to Adam and Chris. Right. And Chris himself is like, when's the next convention committee meeting? And I was like, you don't need to be there. I'll be there. He's like, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to bring this up. I'm like, my man, thank you. Appreciate it. Adam's a sweetheart. He's like, you going to be showing up next year? And I'm like, I'll show up. He's like, can I put you on my staff? I was like, no. I will work if there's an emergent thing going on.
Right.
But other than that, no, I'm not giving any money to Mile High Con. I'm not promoting them. I'm not going to be on any kind of staff list. Like, I'm going to show up like Saturday night with a nice bottle of something. We'll each have a shot, and I'll give it to you to finish it off Sunday night after the Dead Dog.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so, and that's why I'm not working Mile High Con anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because someone's part of the team doesn't mean that they can get away with crap.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you are intent on making this a place that's not super safe for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as bad as the one convention I heard out east. Out east, I heard somebody had a convention, and there was a guy who was like head of security, who was a known predator. And so he had he was like wearing a sandwich board as like a joke that said like rapist on it. And when I had and like I was talking to the person who was telling me the story, and I'm like I guess my first thought if I saw that at like a fandom convention, like, is this kind of like weird Die Hard 3 cosplay you're doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And if anything is like, nah, I'm just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is there an anime I don't know about that you're doing that you made a poor choice in doing?
Yeah. Or do I just get to kick your ass and beat you within an inch of your life as fast as humanly possible and feel good about it? It's like, yeah. Mom. Yeah, like, can you believe that? Like somebody on staff like that. And it's like, you're basically telling everybody here that if they have any kind of real problem, they're going to have to call the police.
Right. Well, and real quickly to Donald's comments over there. Yeah, Mile High Con has never really been big on. In fact, most of the conventions in the convention circuit, except for Comic-Con, have never really been big on advertising, I've noticed. It's not been a thing. I mean, I get periodic stuff from like well, I guess I shouldn't say it, because actually I do see quite a bit from Crozier's stuff. Crozier's pretty good at that. So Kofo and stuff like that, Colorado Festival of Horror, which sadly I never go to, but not because of anything other than horror has never been a genre I've ever been into.
Right.
And so like it's the only, and it's a shame because I dig the guy so much. The guy who runs the show is a good guy and he's a lot of fun, and he just happens to run a show that I'm not even remotely interested in.
Yeah.
And it's always such a shame because I always feel so bad. Like, aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still have a mailing list and stuff, but of course, they probably peter some of that stuff out if somebody doesn't attend after a few years. And it's a long time con, so it's one, and it's definitely a little bit more niche, so it's always kind of waxing and waning.
Right.
It's been on the wane. The show was over at a hotel across the street from like that big medical facility over on East Colfax by 225.
Mm-hmm.
And the hotel definitely caters to that crowd of, I have got loved ones in this medical facility.
Right.
I'm gonna go over and cross the street to this place. Um, yeah, the restaurant was okay. The convention, I mean, it was fine for the show's needs. Um, yeah, and yeah, I've actually like, wow, I've actually not had to like correct myself and say, oh yeah, we, or yeah, that kind of thing. It's like I'm no longer part of the show. Walked away from that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 So it's yeah. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
I don't even remember how long ago it was, but we'll have to quickly look up the name here. But years ago, back when the Starfest was on the out, there was a thing that happened there that was controversial, and we met the cosplayer that it happened to, and she was one of our first interview, like not our first, but definitely one of our early interviews that we had on the show to find out, well, what happened.
Right.
And that was horrible, and gosh darn it, they should not let people get away with stuff just because they're staff. It's pretty much the same kind of deal.
Yep.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
bad because I can't remember the name. My brain is shutting down. Do you remember the name?
Of the cosplayer?
The cosplayer? Yeah. Because
Mhm.
what was it?
I remember her name, but I'm trying to remember her cosplay name because I've learned my lesson now.
Yes.
We don't put out the real names of people. We put out the cosplayer name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I know it starts with an A. And let me go look it up real quick because I don't want to say it wrong.
Yeah.
I really don't want to.
That's what I'm trying to do as well.
I really don't want to put out the wrong name.
Search by A. Uh-oh, it's not there.
Well.
Yeah. I know that.
This is irritating. I hate that.
Yeah, I hate it whenever I do this too. But yeah, I really.
Private message me the name you're thinking of, and that will help me look for it.
All right. Nope, never mind. It's not the person I was thinking of. It's a different name.
Nope.
Not helpful.
No.
I mean, it still starts with A. I just have the wrong A name. Oh well, I'll get there. Anyway, she's cool.
Well, send me the name.
Yeah.
So the private Facebook message or something.
I will.
And then I
can
can
get there.
See if that doesn't help me out. And then that way I can at least direct people to her cosplay page.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yes, she actually is pretty cool.
That stuff needs to be called out when it happens and not buried.
Yep.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, there was a staff member. Oh yeah, lots of cool in the game room. Always that one's also another thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I get that, sometimes people aren't their best selves,
mm-hmm.
and I get that, but it's also like, sometimes Sometimes what you're doing just crosses a line, especially when you've been told. Oh, remember a cosplayer or a LARP back in the Regency that had local LARP of werewolves purposely came to attack physically a vampire LARP group. We got only about 15 minutes. Huh.
Wow. That's rough.
That's
Hmm.
werewolves, vampires are both pretty. Chill
Right?
out.
Nothing worse than having a werewolf and vampires fight in the middle of the thing.
I know you guys taking the World of Darkness thing too far, okay?
Got glitter and fur flying everywhere.
That's pre-glitter and fur.
Oh,
So
But yeah, but the world of darkness, the werewolves are always eating the vampires. So
in other news,
Yes.
we're rolling in Star Trek news. We've actually got kind of an interesting couple of bits. Starting in the police were called. I remember being told about that somewhere on the line. Yeah, I remember that. In the news of Starfleet Academy, that one starts its first episode on January 15th. It has been an interesting advertising campaign. I have no earthly idea where they're going with this. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I shall watch it. Of course, I will watch it because I watch all Star Trek.
yeah,
But it is still kind of one of those. I'm not 100% sure if I'm on board with it or not. We'll see. We'll see. I'll give you a review when we get there. Also, Christina Chung, who plays La'an Noonien Singh on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, posted a picture of her trailer door with "Goodbye, La'an," and so they have wrapped, or they are in the process of wrapping the last season of Strange New Worlds. And everybody's like, but that's such a good series. And I'm like, yes, it is. But right. But it's kind of like the movie Titanic. There is definitely an end to this story.
right.
And all the Trekkies know it. And so you can't get away with just continuing on with Pike forever. There's an end to his story. That was the very beginning of Star
Even
Trek.
I know that.
Right. So it's kind of like Titanic, where, spoiler alert, the ship sinks.
Yeah.
So they've got to have an end somewhere, and I can't lie. I am both super sad to watch Strange New Worlds come to an end, but on the same token, I am really, really curious where they're going to go with it. And how they're going to make it work. They've been really good about making things tie in back and forth, and that's been kind of cool. So
cool.
It's actually funny how one of the things that I think a lot of Trekkies do not take into account with Star Trek, whenever they start whining about, but they broke up canon, is actually how the writers love to play the game of, we did follow canon. We just went in a direction you didn't expect, and so you missed it. The infamous scene that they were talking about was that, for those who have not seen Strange New Worlds, I will give you a small spoiler alert, and that is that they actually do introduce Jim Kirk into Star Trek, into Strange New Worlds. He's played by a different actor, obviously, but he's introduced in, and of course the argument was, but he says Kirk says in the original series, I met him once, and I'm like, that's a Mandela effect. He did not, in fact, say that. He said, I met him when he was promoted to fleet captain. And then they were like, but he wasn't promoted to fleet captain. I'm like, go back and watch the episode. He was a fleet captain for the entire episode, and then was put back to normal captain at the end of the episode. And I was like, they still fit it, because that was obviously a moment in Pike's life where he was promoted to fleet captain for like 12 hours. And that happened to be the same time that Kirk showed up on the ship. And so they still stayed within what Kirk says. And it's exactly what Kirk says. And they're like, well, yeah, but Kirk implies. And I'm like, no, he's never met the person he's talking to before, because the person who is talking to him, the Admiral, is like, have you ever met, Christopher Pike? And Kirk's like, I met him when he was promoted fleet captain. But the way that it's said, it's all Mendez, Admiral Mendez, that makes it sound like Kirk's never met him before. It's Mendez that says, well, Mendez has never met Jim Kirk before either. So in that particular scene, they don't know. So, it'd be like if I were talking to Troy and didn't know that Troy knew Alex, and said, you ever met Alex before? He's into martial arts and does all this stuff. And if you listen, you'd be like, oh, obviously Troy doesn't know Alex, but Kirk doesn't say anything. So I was very impressed by stuff like that. So they do like to work within canon. They just subvert it. That becomes sort of their little game in the writer's room. How can we still make this fit and at the same time make it completely different? So because the Trekkies are going to watch it and they're going to be like, oh yeah, well, we knew this part. And it's kind of nice to subvert it, because then the Trekkies are like, whoa, I didn't know that was what happened, So anyway, that's those are the two bits of news coming from the Star Trek world. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is wrapping right now, or has wrapped. There's nothing specific that we can glean from the fact that An was posting first, other than her character's parts were done being filmed. That's it. I don't think they killed La'an or anything like that. Yeah, exactly. So make it work in the end. But yeah. So that's always a thing. There's a couple of concessions that Star Trek has made, that they made during Enterprise, that they're still holding to. And that is, they're never going to put the Dots Candy control boards back into the starships. That's silly. With the flashy lights that just sit there and flash like this all the time. That's never going to happen ever again. They accepted that at the very tail end of TNG. And when they went back in Enterprise, they went, you know what? This is stupid. We're not doing that. And they continued that on. So that's one where canon's completely screwed up. The Enterprise that Pike has is far more advanced than Jim Kirk's Enterprise ever was. Although there was a book that I read once that had a great excuse for that. And I thought that was cool. Sort of because it was before the time of Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, but it was something similar. Right after the Romulan Wars, the Romulans invented a device that got into all the computers. So it forced the Federation to make stupider computers so that they wouldn't be tampered with by the Romulans. And that's why TOS Enterprise looks so backwater, is because of that. And I was like, actually, that's not a bad explanation. They never went with it, but it was kind of cool that was in a book. One of the books did that, and I thought that was kind of cool. Right? It's kind of funny. So, something just fired off over here. I don't know. Arbitrarily, something is firing off on my side and wanting me to log into the authenticator. And I'm like, okay. It's not loaded yet. I'm assuming it has something to do with school, because one last thing, I graduated.
Yay!
I now actually have a bachelor's degree again.
Da, 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 da.
So that's always nice. Now I move on to graduate school. Also nice. So.
Right on.
Oh, cool.
All right.
I think you're out of Star Trek time now.
I'm out of Star Trek time. I've made I've made the news runs. Mm-hmm. All right. Is there anything else we want to add before we wrap the show?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh. Okay. Well, then I guess that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Donald, I think you're the only one that actually talked on tonight's episode.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Stargate does have a brand new series coming out. I'm interested in that one as well. Thank you, sir. However, yep, that is it. what we have for today. We will see you next week at the same bat time, same bat channel.
Mhm.
And until then, I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.
Because I'm Batman.